Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by saying that the video we done the other day in regards to Lucy May, the audio in that video is not Lucy May. It has been confirmed to me that it's not Lucy May. And I want to let you guys know that when I received that video, I received the video 2 days prior to me actually uploading the video to YouTube. And in that space of time, I watched the video once, only once. And then the second time I watched it is when I recorded it. However, when I watched it that once, I did go onto TikTok to see if it was trending on TikTok or if other people on TikTok were talking about it. And I see maybe 1 or 2 other accounts talking about it. And at the time, I took it for what it was. Allegedly Lucy on a call to this guy in Tenerife. If we look at the video itself, we can see that it has a date and time. More or less been the first time I've come across this footage. I had never seen the footage before. So I watched the video for the second time when I recorded it and gave my opinion. It sounded like someone from up north. It definitely wasn't someone from the down south of England. That's the only reason I thought it could have been. However, it turns out that that video is older than what we thought it was. And it isn't Lucy on the phone to that guy. Instead of kindly letting me know that that's what it is, because again, I took it for what it was. I didn't know it was old. I didn't know what it was other than an alleged video with Lucy on the phone to this guy with dates attached. What some people have decided to go and do is take it out of context, make wild assumptions with the intentions of trying to discredit the work that I do. Although it's one video and I've just given you the context and the process that led me to making that video. It was a clip that I genuinely thought could be Lucy. I didn't know how old the clip was. But instead of kindly letting me know that Wax, actually that clip is old and it isn't Lucy in that clip, people are making their videos, trying to call me out, trying to discredit me, trying to make it look like I'm doing something that I'm not. If you've been following my work on the SLATER case, then you know I would have scrutinized every single thing that there is to look at. I eliminated the boat theory ages ago. I eliminated the beach theory ages ago. In fact, I haven't even given you guys my final hypothesis. I've been debunking theories and narratives in mostly every single video I've been doing. I haven't been spreading lies or conspiracy theories. In fact, I've been looking at all of what we have and eliminating all the BS, literally giving you reasons as to why this story or this narrative or this theory doesn't make sense. That's what I've been doing. There's no repetition in my videos. My videos ain't the same thing over and over and over again. I give you theories, I debunk them. I give you conspiracies, I debunk them. I give you reasons and logical reasons as to why this doesn't make any sense or why that can't be true. We've looked at various different footage. We've gone back in time and looked at old footage. And I'm telling you now, you have to look at old footage if you want to understand or try and understand what's really happened here. So when people say, oh, you're just going over old footage or you're just repeating yourself, no, I've gone over old footage just to try and make sense of something. And the only time I've gone over footage is really when we've gone over that handbag situation with Tom Hilton. Yes, I claimed it looked like Tom. I thought it could be Tom because there was a scar on the back of this guy's head. But I've come to a conclusion that it isn't Tom in that video. Why did I come to that conclusion? Why did I eliminate that? Because in the later footage, when Jay looks absolutely waved out of his face, when he looks like he's on the verge of collapsing, he has his bag around his neck. So that footage is definitely coming after the footage that we assumed he gave the bag to Tom. He didn't give anything to Tom, and that weren't Tom. And I eliminated that ages ago. That's the reason why we haven't been going over that. So when people say to me, oh, you're going over the same old stuff and he's repeating himself, I say people, there's probably one clown that probably hasn't watched none of my work that is saying this. We eliminated all those theories. We eliminated the beach. We eliminated the boat. But does that mean Jay didn't die before getting to the Airbnb? What doesn't sit right with me, ladies and gentlemen, right now are 2 things. 2 things don't sit right with me. What took place after NRG? Because based on what I can see from Jay, he looks absolutely waved. The only next step for him is collapsing, finding a corner and just falling asleep in that corner. I don't understand how he had the energy to link up with Ahab, go to an Airbnb in the mountains at that time in the morning, then decide to leave within a short space of time to then go on a long hike. Based on that footage, he has all of the energy to do that. If he had stuck to the pathways and the routes like the Guardia Civil suggested, he wouldn't have fallen to his death. He would have found himself at the beach. So I just don't understand how Jay got all the way up that Healy road, cliffy road. Remember, it's a cliff hill drop. You can look down the side of the road that he walked up. He walked all the way up that road without throwing himself off that cliff, without thinking he was Superman at that point. He went all that way, past the calf, past the bus stop, then decided, you know what, this is the point. This is the point of destination where I'm going to go off-road. the moment Brad calls me. And when he goes off roads, there is paths that he can then follow. He decides that he's not going to take those paths. In fact, I'm going to walk through the cactuses and I'm going to go through all the things that are going to make it more challenging and difficult for me. And then we get told from Lucy and Ayub that he was in a ditch cut by a cactus. So how did he get from being in a ditch to then being found at the bottom of a cliff? And even at that point, Lucy would have had his screenshot location. Why did she not go to that location immediately? She goes to the police station for what? And nobody decided to go to that location where Jay was. Even the screenshot. Why would Jay send his location to someone to let them know where he is via a screenshot? That's no benefit to anyone, because they can't then zoom out to see where they are and where you are to then give that location to the cab driver to get to where you are. So again, it just sounds like the screenshot has just been fabricated to make it look like Jay sent the screenshot or Jay was in that location. The process of sending the screenshot in such a way would drain your battery more than just pressing the button and sending that location to the person you want to send it to. It just doesn't make any sense to me why that decision was made. It's those two moments, the moment of linking up with Ayub outside the NRG festival or in the NRG festival, taking that trip to the mountain, and then leaving the Airbnb. So you're telling me Jay gets to the Airbnb, Rocky goes to bed, Ayub goes to bed, and Jay decides to do nothing. He doesn't go to sleep. He takes pictures on his phone of himself with a blanket smoking a cigarette. You're not talking to Brad and Lucy at the time on the phone because they all were up at that time, clearly. 7:30, Lucy got the call at what? 8 o'clock. It's a half an hour difference. Brad got the call at what? 8:30. So clearly they were all up and active at that time. Clearly they were all active at that time when Jay took that picture. And you're telling me he wasn't talking with any of them. He wasn't asking for them to send him a cab because he wanted to leave. If Jay was wrapped up in a blanket with the cigarette in his hand, taking pictures of himself, why was he so in a hurry to leave? Why was there so much urgency to leave? See, these things are not making sense. But then all of a sudden, someone tries to come in and say, actually, he wanted to go and get some scran. He was going to get some scran. All right, so he's gone to get some scran. But instead of going downhill towards his hotel where there is a bar, which is closed, by the way, but then there's several other locations which are not far. There's several other locations along the way where he could have got scran, which would have been walking in the direction of his hotel. At the same time, a bus could have been catching up with him, so he's cutting down the time. At the same time, Brad and Lucy could be in a car driving towards him to pick him up. But no, he comes out, goes the other way, and goes to the only cafe that's in this location at this point, which he knows is closed because he would have saw that looking at Google. You can't tell me he decided to look at the cafe and travel to this cafe without looking at the times at the Airbnb on his phone. He would have had his phone looking at the times. Oh yeah, this one opens at 10 o'clock. He could have even seen the bus times on his phone. He didn't need to ask Ophelia for the bus times because the bus times would automatically come on your phone when you dial it in. If I want the bus for this location, I need to know what time the bus is coming. This is the location, bam, I pull it in. If I need the location, I don't know where I am, I just ask Ayub. Ayub rented the Airbnb. He must know the name of the road. He must have the postcode. He must know everything about the Airbnb. So if you've got that information and you have access to that information, you can use that information without asking anyone outside the Airbnb about what time the bus comes. So why wasn't that option exercised? You're telling me Jay was there doing nothing that whole time other than taking a picture of himself, smoking a cigarette, wearing that blanket. That's all Jay done. And then Jay just decided to walk off. That situation there doesn't make any sense. Everything that happened in the Airbnb, the decisions that were made in the Airbnb, the situation that took place after the NRG festival, Jay being so out of his face, I don't understand how he made the decision to give Brad his key and stay with Ayub and then travel for 45 minutes to an Airbnb in the mountains. And then within a space of 45 minutes after taking one or two pictures on his Snapchat, not of himself, just of the landscape and of a blanket with a cigarette, he decides he wants to leave. Like I've already said to you guys, there was someone involved who was that influential, they was able to convince Ophelia to make that statement. They was also influential enough to tell the Guardia Civil it is a missing persons case and give them that statement from Ophelia to solidify the fact that it's a missing persons case. But the true nature of what happened that night is not a missing persons case, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. I do apologize for bringing some content late. I do have the Chris reaction that I'm going to be dropping as well. I did say 24 to 48 hours. I do apologize. I will get it out as soon as possible. There will be more content, so make sure you turn your notification bells on, hit that like button, do subscribe to this channel if we are new, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.